So, yeah. So, do you have a name for your character yet?
That's honestly the part that I have been struggling hardest on. Names are either so unbelievably easy or literally impossible.
Yeah, why don't we, so I can give you some insight into Elven, phonology in my world.
Okay. By all means. I love linguistics, so by all means,
Let's
pop off.
go, yeah. So they have a trivocalic vowel system. So in other words, they only have, generally, they only have the vowels ah, e, and oo.
Yep. The classic.
Yeah. So, so that can help a little bit.
Okay.
But then beyond that, I don't really. That's the only thing I know about the Elven language. I haven't really put much more work there. Oh, and also I do generally. So, okay, and then also I kind of model some of the stuff in Elven off of Proto-Indo-European.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so if you can, like, for instance, like, find something you like in Proto, like, if you think of like just a random word that you like, and then figure out what the etymology of it would be in Proto-Indo-European, then we can modify it into a name from there. That would be one way to do it.
So I was thinking, oh Jesus Christ, I have no idea how I would possibly pronounce that. Oh God. Alright, I'm just gonna paste this into Discord, and if you know how to pronounce it...
Yeah, maybe.
Because this is the Pi word for serpent.
Okay.
Which is the closest thing that they would have to dragon. Because I was thinking, my name would effectively be not so much a name as much as a like designation.
Yeah, I think so. With Proto-Indo-European, a lot of times it's like the stuff like the 2 or like the WH. I think means that they are like there's some evidence that it was a thing, but not a ton. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce that. Which is sad because I have a degree in linguistics and I still don't know how to say it. I don't know how that would be pronounced either. I don't really know much about. I see. I don't really know much about the reconstruction side of linguistics though. So
I don't focus on it, but it is interesting. But Jesus, if I could not be asked to figure out how the fuck to pronounce this.
Okay, it would be like Hingvis or something like that.
Yeah, for these purposes, Hingvis would work. I was gonna do Draki.
Yeah.
Draki, but Hingvis is nasty, and I love it.
Yeah, that's an interesting name. Let's see.
Hingvis.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be exactly that either. It could just be based off that or sounding similar to it.
No, I'm going with Hingvis. That's awful.
Hingvis.
Unless you don't want to force people to pronounce the godforsaken word that is Hingvis.
No, that's fine. I think it's very like exotic sounding, which works.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I like Hingvis actually. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Yeah. The next thing would be the character.
Can you look at this sheet as I'm editing it? In journal and under characters. Oh, it's currently labeled Draki. How do I save? Do I just click somewhere else?
Yeah.
Okay, now.
Yeah. If you hit edit here, I don't know if that changed it for you. Oh, I see it there. Yeah. Yep. Okay. And so now, yeah, I can look at it. Let me just make it so that also. Let me make it so the stream can see it too.
Yes.
I forgot about some of these things that I have in here.
Yeah, I meant to ask, why is Leroy Jenkins himself in here?
Where's Leroy Jenkins? I don't remember.
There's characters Borman Warrior, Bree Merhart, Helios himself, just straight up Helios, and Leroy Jenkins.
Yeah. Leroy Jenkins? I don't remember why.
Nobody knows. He's just
I have
here.
no idea why, though. This campaign has gone on for like 2 years, so there's a lot of collected up, like, random shit in here.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Wait, why is it not... Okay, hold on, it's not in my journal. Need to change that.
My character
I know
is
why.
not having a fun time right now. Let me reload it.
There we go. Okay. Hinguis.
Oh, I'm Hinguis.
Yeah.
Why? Because I can.
So, okay. So, what did you end up settling on for your classes?
Okay, so it should be over here. Oh god, it's not over here. Okay, so I am a sorcerer 9, rogue 2, fighter 4.
Okay. And which one was the base one, like the starting one?
I started off with fighter.
Fighter. Okay, gotcha. So then that's why it's strength and con for the saving throws.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because I figured, maybe I could have been a rogue first, but I feel like in my first few years of slavery, I was just like, and then would fight people off to
Okay.
not die or whatever.
Yeah, and the okay, yeah, I mean that's fair. What? Okay, and then hold on, give me a second here.
Take your time.
I'm just looking at multi-classing stuff again to remind myself. So then, how did you roll? Did you roll stats or just use this point buy or?
I rolled stats, and
Okay.
they look really good. I know, but Duncan was there. He can
No, that's fair.
verify. They were
Honestly, for this-
hand dice rolled.
Yeah, that's honestly that's not like crazy high for this point. So.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Okay, and so your one looks like more dex-based,
So-
build.
Yes, technically. My plan is once I get in game, I'm going to get some sort of strength enhancing item.
Okay, gotcha. And let's see, okay, so you have your skills there, because you got, okay, so fighter starts with 2 skills, and then you would have gotten, I can't remember, did you get an extra one from rogue?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. And then, what about your background? What's your background?
Hang on, I wrote it on a literal notepad. This one? No, that's my beats I want to do. Here we go. My background, I am technically the urchin background from the
Okay.
PHP. I'm just retitling it the slave, but it's just the same.
Okay, yeah, I gotcha. That works. Okay, which, that one also gives you 2 new skills.
Does it? Okay.
Let me double check on this. Yeah, being an urchin gives you, or in your case a slave, would give you sleight of hand and stealth as proficiencies.
Nice.
Or,
Alright.
wait, actually I can't tell if it's that or one of those. Hold on, let me look at my HP.
It's 2.
Okay, yeah.
You get, there's languages, tools, and skills, and you get like a total of 4.
Yeah, okay, yeah. And then the okay, let's see here. Yeah, I think there's also a feature, which is why I'm gonna look at this. Which is, I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, for Urchin. Yeah, you have a feature called City Secrets.
Yes.
So, and by the way, you can, for all of your class, subclass, and background, and whatever other features, you can use the feature thing on the bottom right of your character thing. Like, if you just hit plus, make a new one. And
okay.
yeah, and then you can kind of like expand and drop them down or not. So under the features and traits area, if you want to type in, or like basically put in city,
copy and
City Secrets, which is that you know the secret patterns and flow to cities, and can find passages through the urban sprawl that others would miss. Try to think if we could maybe reflavor that in a way for your character specifically, though. Maybe, like, for you, instead of being in cities, maybe it could just be, like, in Dragon Elf controlled areas, whether they be city or not.
Yeah, I just know Dragon Elf area pretty well.
Yeah. Okay. So that way it's kind of like... It's a little more limited, but also it's not limited to just cities, so it's kind of like, you know...
Yeah.
So why don't we just call it Dragon Elf Secrets?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, and basically you could just type your description, but basically... The main mechanical effect is that when you're in relevant areas, right, then you can travel between locations twice as fast as normal. In other words, you know your way around Dragon Elf architecture, Dragon Elf city layout, that sort of thing enough. That when you're in a Dragon Elf area, you know how to get around. What's up, Snowy Moon Man? No, we didn't finish getting paid. Logan here is our newest player, our 5th player. So, anyways, so that would be that.
And then do I just hit plus again to submit it, or?
Let's see. Once you type it out, it should. You should be able to so plus will just make a new one. It's that you do. You hit the cog wheel and it like...
Oh, and that saves it?
Yeah, but I don't see anything there, but maybe it's just desync.
Uh-oh. No, I don't see anything there.
Yeah, so try typing it out again and then hit the cog wheel and that'll like shrink it back down.
Okay, and flow to...
Okay. Hey, Tucker. Hey, baby. Hey, Tucker. Tucker, 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 Tucker. Tucker, 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 Tucker. Tucker, 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 Tucker.
And here.
There we go.
Saved.
Yep, yeah,
Swag.
I see it too, so...
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, real quick. I just want to complete one other thing I was working on. I was trying to work on, like, so I get talons as, like, a part of my racial thing. It's basically just the standard D4 melee.
Okay.
For crit, how do y'all deal crit? Is it just, like, double the dice or what?
Yeah, double the dice.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, which normally it should actually automatically work that in, so you shouldn't need to actually add it to the sheet.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, the crit thing it has on the sheet is in case you get, like, an additional bonus on top. Like certain weapons, like special weapons and stuff. So.
Oh, it didn't fucking edit the damn. God damn it.
Well, yeah. So. So, how many languages do you get?
My race was a terrible way to find out languages. I think it was just going to be like Dragon Elf and Common.
Okay, that works. Yeah, you can put those under the bottom left column, other proficiencies in languages. Normally I just add, you can add them all individually or I'll just have one that is just languages, and type them out.
Alright, is there anything that you think I would know?
No, that's probably it. Well... Okay. I would say you probably... what I'll say is I'll give you... Because normally I actually do give... I normally give players like an extra language, actually, because the languages of my world are a little more split up. Although in this part of the world, not as much necessarily. But yeah, so I will give you one extra, which is probably the one that would make the most sense would be Lizard Folk. Since they are also a lot of the lower class of the Dragon Elf Society.
Also, I forgot I know Thieves Can't because Rogue.
Yep, that works too. That's, yeah, and Thieves Can't is more of like a code language. It's not really like a full language, but yeah.
Oh, great. Okay.
So, yeah. Anywho, so that works. So then, what I would make sure to do is... Okay. Well, so... Yeah, Logan's character is a mix of fighter, sorcerer, and rogue. Is multi-classed.
What I'm doing.
So, I'm just looking at stuff. Okay, so then I would say, while you don't need to do this right now. You can kind of do this during the start of the session or whenever you get a chance. But like, I would say you could start copying the features that you have over onto your sheet, like just one at a time. Like, the first one would be. You could sort it by class. So you do like all your fighter ones first, which would be like action surge, and you would just put there, and then second wind and whatever else.
Where are these over here? Where do I see my feats? Hello, I would like to see the feet.
Yeah, well, not feats, but features.
Yeah. Here we go. Features and traits.
Yeah. Yep, and then you could just kind of like, I would just start copying those over one at a time. But I would say you can kind of do that as we're going.
Yeah.
For right now, I want to focus on figuring out some other things.
Okay. I do have one question.
Yeah.
Where do I put spells in this bitch?
So, at the top of the character sheet, there's a separate tab for spells, actually.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'll work on that later.
Yep. So then, and you can actually just, the easy thing to do is you can go to the compendium at the top right in the chat, on the right side of the whole website. There's a compendium, and you can find the spells, and then just search them, and then drag them into your sheet.
Oh, okay, cool.
Mm-hmm. The only thing would be some that aren't from the core books. Like if there's if there's spells added from Xanathars or anything that you have, you might have to type those out yourself. But yeah,
that's fine.
Okay. So, what I want to figure out though is, so we kind of have a backstory for your character.
Yeah.
So the way that so basically your character, for anyone who, I guess, we never streamed the first part. So, Logan's character, the idea we kind of came up with was that Logan's character, Hingvis, was a dragon elf, or is a dragon elf. So for anyone, just as a reminder to anyone, the Dragon Elves are the ones who basically rule a bunch of islands down south of the main continent, where this big Jabba the Hutt version of me is. It would be down there. And so, the Dragon Elves are down there, but they also have like a lot of influence in the towns along the southern end of this continent. And so the idea that Logan had is that his character was a dragon elf, and as a child was in this city that has now been called Fuckerland.
That's a nice head you have on your shoulders.
Yeah, thank you, Manic Patty, for the follow. So that wasn't there last time, and I want you to. Well, you're gonna find out why it's called that now.
Okay.
So
I'm excited.
So Logan's character was a dragon elf there, who was the son of an entrepreneurial businessman sort, who basically had like a startup business in that area. We never really specified what business it was. Do you have any idea? Like, I try to think. So like the IRL equivalent of this is like Biloxi, Mississippi. What do they produce in Biloxi?
Biloxi, Mississippi. I've never even heard of that. What the fuck is a Biloxi, Mississippi?
Biloxi,
how do you even spell that?
It's Biloxi.
Yeah. I'm typing in Biloxi. That's not at all how it was spelled.
It's known for its casinos. See, I only know it from EU4, but they have casinos there. Okay, well, it probably doesn't have that. But what was Biloxi known for before that? Let's see. In the colonial era, here we go. The name of Biloxi. It was a fort. That was it. Okay, well,
Oh.
It was a French fort, apparently, in Louisiana.
Well, that's really boring. I just imagined like average merchant salesman.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, it literally just could be like exporting stuff from various that comes into the port from the mainland and exporting it back to the home islands, right? That could be it.
Yeah, back and forth. I guess he
Yeah.
just like imports goods from the home islands and sells it for goods from the.
That works.
mainland.
That works perfectly fine. So an import-export business. I think that works. That kind of encompasses a lot of things, yeah. And so, so the idea was that Logan's character Hinguis was was son of a businessman, and this businessman was definitely fit in pretty well in this city of Fuckerland. It's not actually called that. Well, new name will be dropping for it soon. But the city is like a fairly kind of diverse area. It is, even though there's a lot of Dragon Elf influence there, and it's kind of nominally a tribute state vassal of the Dragon Elf Empire. The majority of the population would be either lizard folk and humans, maybe some some dragon elves, some normal elves, even a couple dwarves, and even a couple boarmen, but like mainly humans and lizard folk. And as a result, Logan's character grew up in a very diverse environment, had a lot of friends, most of whom were also from pretty like well-off background, like probably other Dragon Elf families, but he probably also got to know a lot of the lizard folk and stuff, and the humans, which is why he also that explains why you know those languages too, right?
Yes.
And was very happy, played soccer with them all the time, at least some of the time.
Well, I heard I was goalie apparently because I get to be the one who throws the ball.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Yeah.
Okay. And basically, his character had a very nice childhood growing up, and his dad was also fairly like fit in well with the diversity here, to the point where his dad even began to pay homage to and kind of worship on the side beyond the Great Purple Dragon, which is like the deity figure of the Dragon Elves. He also began to worship some of the other gods, like local gods, just as a lot of people in the city did. A lot of the humans and lizard folk who had their own gods before also began to worship the Purple Dragon, and so there's a lot of syncretism. However, that's fine for like the commoners there, but because his dad was a Dragon Elf Empire citizen and everything, there's kind of a bit of scrutiny from the Dragon Elf Temple and its outreach here. And eventually, his dad got in trouble, which we said was basically a mix of both tax fraud and blasphemous tithing to other deities, basically. Right?
Yes, he started off with the tax fraud, and then once the tax collectors found out about that and went to audit him, they were like, "Why do you have a singular statue to any other deity that's not the Purple Dragon?
Exactly,
Go to jail now."
Well, and they are kind of linked in a causal sense, because the reason he probably was committing tax fraud is because we said that he wasn't really having, like, business was kind of bad for a few years. Yeah. And that's one reason why he ended up turning to worship like one of the local gods or deities of fortune. Like basically for good luck, he was like, I'm gonna tithe to this other deity as well to bring about better business. And instead, when he got caught out for the kind of tax fraud stuff, then it became a double whammy, because the Dragon Elf like Templars or whatever essentially found out that he had done both of these things at the same time, and yeah. So that led to if this was like a commoner doing something like this, they probably just would be executed. But because he at least had some influence and stuff, he was instead imprisoned along with his whole family, including Hingvis.
It works so well. It's such a lovely system.
Yeah. So Hingvis was turned into a prisoner, And like most prisoners in the Dragon Elf Empire, was enslaved and became like a chain gang laborer.
Appendix A,
Oh,
the first,
God damn it. Hold on, I gotta turn off
redacted,
my
of
sound
Claude and
effects.
Zenfrog. Zenfrog leapt into Claude's arms, and as the lobster began to carry them towards the gazebo, Zenfrog was already
No,
working
stop!
Zenfrog
Oh my
redacted
God,
Claude
stop
and
it, guys.
Zenfrog. Zenfrog leapt into Claude's arms to make sure no one was
Wait,
began
where
to
they-
carry them
oh,
towards
they
the
changed
Claude
the- okay, yeah.
already working two of their four hands into Claude's appendix A. Claude redacted. I do not even get around to make sure no one was began. The first two arms held
Hold on.
Claude's appendix still
Hold on, I have a No! There's parts too!
Oh god.
Okay, well, let's turn off now.
Oh my god, it's nothing. I've had your stream muted this whole time. This is atrocious, I love it.
Yeah, see, I don't even remember to turn this off for D&D, but...
No, this is gorgeous, what do you mean? There's zero problems. Wow, that was pretty brutal. The rising music was what did it for me. I had to mute the chat.
Alongside redacted and Zenfrog to his muscular chest. Alongside to his muscular chest. Knowing that at least for one day until everything would be alright. Knowing that at least for one day.
Apparently Rune Knight gives me the ability to speak, read, and write giant, so we cool with adding that?
For the what thing? Sorry? Oh, yeah.
Okay. So,
That makes
yeah,
sense.
so my fighter thing would be Rune Knight, which is giant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whenever we're done discussing what we're currently talking about, I need to figure out how to incorporate, like, some form of interaction with the giants.
I have just the thing for you, yeah. I actually was just thinking about that.
Ooh. Oh, okay.
So yeah, why don't actually... So that's what we need to flesh out now, is that we know how you kind of came to be a slave and stuff. And now I want to kind of focus on roughly kind of outlining how you came to be where you currently are, which we'll get to.
Yes. So once I got imprisoned, after a while they were like, you know, you can stop being in prison if you just become slaves. So we all became slaves, I guess.
Yeah.
And the city of Fuckerland was like, damn, I need to pay tribute to the home islands. How can I possibly do this? Oh, I know, I have some slaves to sell back. So we got sold back to the home islands, which we came from, but now we're slaves, which is great. But I am not... Wait, okay, are we changing this part from when I return, or no? Or did you want to talk about the giant thing first?
No,
Or-
that'd be later. Like,
Okay.
first I was thinking we have the whole thing with you getting your wings and everything, you know?
Yes. Okay, so, for anyone wondering, mechanically, I am an Aarakocra. This will be important later, remember that. But...
He just
What's
identifies as a dragon. No, no, he wanted to be an Aarakocra, but I was like, that doesn't really work. I told him that doesn't really work for like the lore of this part of the world. So we figured out another way for him to be a reskin Aarakocra. So his character is a dragon elf, but statistically, he's using the Aarakocra stat block.
Yes. So once I came back to the home islands for slavery purposes, they were like, you know, ones go to the left, twos go to the right, and all of the twos, which I was in the group of, were not like chattel labor slaves, but test subject slaves for genetic engineering, which is fun, really great, highly recommend. Can't get enough of it. And apparently, I don't know how much of the test I'm allowed to talk about, if that like reveals any lore or not.
I mean, I think it's whatever you want to reveal. That's fine. It's up to you.
Okay. But the dragon elves seem to be trying to figure out how to re-dragonify themselves, so they're a little bit more dragon than just elf. So they're using me as a way to find that out. It's not going well. I have wings, that's cool, but they've also just been cramming magic into me, which is super fun and awesome. Also, I think I'm going to be wild magic sorcerer, by the way, because like they don't really know exactly what they're doing. I'm probably one of their earlier tests.
Yeah, it probably would be. That would make the most sense, honestly. Well, that or the dragon blood sorcerer, either one. But like,
yeah,
you could go that route because they probably literally injected you with dragon blood, but also. The wild magic would work too because they probably just were injecting a bunch of magic shit into you, and it might have just like awakened an innate magic that you don't really have control over, right? Either way,
yes.
It's
and
totally
wild magic is also fun and chaotic, and I love it.
Yep, that works then. Okay, so we'll just say they crammed magic, blood, and shit into you. Are there wings? I'm assuming they would be like scaly wings, like draconic looking wings.
Yeah, so I was imagining large, like the draconic wings. It's kind of bat-esque in nature.
Yeah.
But most like scales around the bones, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have those. They're pretty large. Wingspan is probably about like 2 feet beyond my arm span in either direction, maybe 3 feet even.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, I got wangs. They're chilling.
Yeah.
They're really painful. They hurt a lot.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, there definitely is a lot of side effects from this, which also explains the wild magic. Probably a lot of it is just, like, you know, bursts of pain that turn into magical outbursts, you know, so...
And then, like, everyone becomes a sheep or something.
Yeah, your hemorrhoids act up and that. No, but, so yeah, fucked up, like, genetic experiments have added these wings to Hingwis here, and then also awakened like this kind of wild magic abilities that he has since honed a bit, which is why you're higher level in that now. But so here's what I was thinking, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking that maybe at some point you escaped and then kind of have been going off and just like hiding and whatever. It had been a few years.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I had something that I kind of cooked up while me and Duncan were like working on early character design. So a lot of my spells are kind of geared towards escapery. I have like dominate person and invisibility and something else, I think. So some of the low level ones are like mildly successful. So multiple times I would escape, but not really know how to like get off of the home islands per se. So I would just like break out of the research center to go downtown and like eat a burger and be like, someone's like, "Are you gonna pay for that?" And I'm like, "No, they'll just find me." And they're like, "What do you mean?" And then a bunch of guards like rush me down and like slam me into the ground and then take me back.
Yeah,
this is like the 5th time this week. But eventually one day I finally managed to like escape.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll say, you basically, and that was kind of maybe part of how you started honing your abilities, is by just trying to escape over and over until you finally made it work.
Yep.
Real quick, this reminds me, real quick.
Okay.
In your head, were you thinking that your family is still alive and as prisoners or slaves, or what?
I have not given that much thought. It's been probably, 6 to 8 years now since they've come back. We've been slaves for over 10 years. I don't know how long slaves last. The dad, maybe not. I don't know. I hadn't given too much thought to it. It's a maybe. It is up to DM discretion whether or not you want my family to be alive. I don't even have to know.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. Do you have any names for any of them that you had thought of?
No, not really.
Okay, here, I got one. Your father is also Hingwis, the senior.
I'm a junior!
So,
let's go!
Yeah.
Alright, yeah, Hingwis Jr.
They might need to. Yeah, if you could take... Well, no, it's probably fine, but... I can take Mom later.
Do you comatose?
He's chilling. Yeah, I'll take him in a bit, Drew. That's fine. Yeah, definitely Tutton is still later. You can close that later. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, or you can be the 3rd in your line, or like the 20th. No, yeah, that I think it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hinguis the Junior.
D Junior.
Oh, that's fine. I'll come up with some. Maybe I'll come up with the names for some other family members, but that's fine. So So I like the idea that your character eventually escaped, and when they did, they eventually made it to the mainland. Maybe they even went back to Fuckerland.
Mm-hmm. To try and meet old friends or something.
Well, or to try to find, see if your parents were still there or whatever.
Ah, yes.
And then they weren't, so you kind of were out of luck. And so your character then, here's my idea, right?
Okay.
Your character then eventually started moving and just kind of went and hid in the mountains and stuff. Here's why I think that would work. It doesn't have to be right away. There could have been years in between where you did other stuff.
Okay.
But, so basically, here's what my thoughts about how we can link it to where you currently are. So, do you know where you currently are?
I have been informed.
Mm-hmm. So
I am in a lovely cocoon.
Yeah, your character was turned into a cocoon. And the reason why is because they were captured by vampires, which the group has been fighting.
Yeah.
Here's what I was thinking. The vampires also had a couple of giants as vampire thralls. Including a fire giant. Fire giants are pretty damn rare in this part of the world. There's probably maybe a couple left alive, total. And fire giants are they are fairly knowledgeable and wise in giants lore. They're actually fairly lots of times they know magic and stuff. So I was thinking, what if maybe this fire giant was training you in giant ways at one point? And that's how you
I like that.
gain the ability first to speak giant, but also we're taught how to become large.
Yes, I like that.
Okay, and you have enlarge too, right? The spell.
Yes, I have both. That is the express purpose is to have both. You'll see what I'm doing later.
Yeah, I have an idea. How about this? How about? Okay, I'm gonna write this down just because I like to write stuff down as I go. But tell me if you want to change this, and we can always change it. But
okay,
how about while traveling along through the mountains, just kind of wandering, when you didn't have anything else going on, you were attacked by a couple of hill giants, and in response, you grew large to match them. Well, you wouldn't have been able to grow at that point. You wouldn't have been able to grow as large as them, but you would have grown up a size, right?
Yeah,
and started fighting them. And and that while you were fighting these hill giants, their leader, this fire giant, revealed himself and called for a stop to the fighting because he was impressed by your ability to shift your size.
Okay.
He was impressed by your prowess in combat and impressed by your by the ability to size shift and stuff.
Okay, yeah.
And he then offered to train you how to do it even better.
Yes. I like that.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
I like it.
So this was pre the vampirizing.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking, is that you were with them as part of this little band of giants. And then eventually you and maybe there was some element of you basically had to convince them to stop attacking innocent travelers and only focus on mercenaries and war bands and stuff like that. I don't know how where your character's moral compass lies, but I don't know if they'd be cool with banditry or or if they would have, or what. But yeah,
It's kind of a mixed bag.
yeah,
Because obviously, like, look out for number one is going to become a pretty important thing when you are like chattel, you know.
yeah.
But I also feel like extreme pity for those who are like downtrodden upon. So
Okay.
I guess like kind of a Robin Hood, not necessarily quite as good. I don't steal from the rich to give to the poor. I like steal from the rich to give to myself. But like if I see an urchin, you know, I'll throw like a sandwich their way or something.
How about like what I imagine? One thing you could have done is that these giants were probably just basically raiding whatever travelers came through, like this mountain pass they were at, or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe they would. What I think would make the most sense is that like you convince them to, instead of just attacking everyone, attack like like slavers, because the dwarves of this area actually they occasionally will go out and like raid human like towns and enslave other people to work in the mines for them.
I fucking hate slavery. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be. Yep.
So you could basically convince the giants, and especially because like hill giants, they're kind of dumb, right? But the fire giant, who is their leader, fire giants are pretty reasonable and are not always like just evil, right? Which is why the one that was the leader of this group of giants would have, like, you know, he respects bravery and loyalty above all else. Which is why when he sees you fighting and fighting with honor and, you know, rising to match the hill giants that you were fighting, then he's like, okay, wait, maybe we should let you join us, right?
Okay.
And so yeah, maybe you begin to like raid like slaver war bands and like freeing the slaves, but taking the loot for yourself. Like taking all the taking money, the slavers' ill-gotten gains for yourself. So as payment.
Okay. Yeah. You're free. That's your payment. You can get out of here. We'll take the money.
Yeah. So, I like that. Yeah. So my idea was that you were kind of with them for like maybe a year or two, up in the mountains, until eventually you and your group with these giants were near Roluger, where the vampires are, and you were attacked by the vampires in the middle of the night, taken by surprise. And that's what happened, is that basically all, like, you as well as the giants were taken captive and turned into, well, the giants were turned into vampires. Your character was taken to be experimented on, because they were like, we don't even know what you are with your wings and everything.
Please
and
no.
Yeah, so then, yeah, taken captive by the vampires and brought to be experimented upon. And eventually they would have experimented on you for a long time, and then basically whenever they were like, wanted to put you in stasis, they just literally had you like weaved into a cocoon by, it's not really a cocoon, but basically it's like the ankegs that are with the vampires here basically like spit on you and like use their like spit globules to like encase you.
Lovely spit globules.
Yeah. And so yeah, so they basically your character's been comatose for they don't know how long.
I wouldn't even know how long.
Yeah. And then I think that's where we'll kind of bring you in tonight.
Okay. I like that.
So
I like it a lot.
Yeah, the one last thing I'm gonna add is the name of the fire giant friend and mentor that you had.
Do you have an idea about giant language at all?
Yeah, I basically base it off of like Norse.
Norse? Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay, hang on. English to Norwegian, we'll say. Okay, nope, not Norwegian. Sad. German.
A lot of times I use like Icelandic because it's a
True.
yeah
Where's that bitch at?
closest language to Norse that we have.
Father, which means hill father.
Father. Okay, interesting. Well, that's more like a title. I feel like though.
Okay, but with that, I mean
But-
that's fair.
Yeah, that could be what you called him though. How do you spell that?
Haeeth. If you feel fancy, you can use the
Ev.
thorn.
Yeah.
Yeah, or not thorn, the other one.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
D.
It's Ev, I think.
Yeah, Eth.
Yeah,
Ev,
like
whichever.
Ethereum. No, just kidding. We're crypto bros down now.
Yo! And then Faedhir.
Okay. Heath Follier.
Yes.
Yeah, I like it. Okay. Sounds good. What about okay, and then I have names for the hill giants. The hill giants would have named Hond and Hund.
Quandenhund. Perfect.
No, Hond and Hund.
Aw.
Like there's only one letter difference. It's Hond and Hund. I like it. They were brothers. And you don't know this, but they're both dead now. Rip.
No.
Anyways, though, so yeah, so your character doesn't know. In character, you wouldn't know though if they are alive or dead. Like you've been comatose for who knows how long. In fact, you've been basically in a state of like in and out of like dreams.
Oh. Uh-oh.
Yeah. In fact, Duncan messed with you in your dreams while Duncan's character messed with your character's dreams.
What'd you do?
Well, it was you were dreaming back to when you were playing soccer as a kid, and then what did your character do, Duncan? I don't remember. You like fucked with him while he was goalieing. I don't remember what you did.
What is
he just yelled. It was like yeah. If I remember correctly, he yelled and tried to like wake you up or snap you out of it or like talk to you. And the way I played it is that your character's brain basically didn't understand and basically just shifted to a different dream sequence because they were like it became unpleasant. And then Adao basically Duncan's character Adao basically without meaning to kind of triggered you to like go into a cycle of like dreaming about your worst memories and about your torture and everything. So he basically caused you immense psychological pain in your dreams. So
You ass.
he wasn't meaning to, but that is what happened. So, yeah. But okay, so I think that's good as far as the the kind of background. And again, we can kind of even fill in more of the details as you know later at a later time or whatever. But I guess what you want to we can talk a little bit about any other things. Like, okay, so for instance, what gear you would have had before you were captured? Because the vampires would still have it probably.
If they do... oh great, my dog is loose. Okay, if they do, then... the fuck would I have? I haven't thought too much about gear. I mean, I guess, like... So the Fire Giant has taught me basic, like, tool working. I'm not proficient in it, but, like, I am vaguely aware of it.
Okay.
I guess,
Yeah.
is what I would say. So I have, like, a piece of, like, leather armor that I've crafted myself, and it's, like, kinda shoddy, but it's, like, you know, it's mine or whatever. And the runes from the giants, because Rune Knight, you have, like, actual runes, like rocks with inscriptions on them, or whatever with inscriptions on them.
Okay.
So I have those somewhere that the vampires have put it. I haven't thought too much about weaponry.
Yeah. Well, I know. One thing I was going to say is you were saying that you probably would have used like a strength build, even though you have higher dex baseline. because you would probably have a thingamabobber. You might have like a belt of giant strength, which is like the only way you get more strength. So what I was gonna say is like, what if the giants gifted you a belt of giant strength? Like they made
belt
one
of
for
giant
you.
strength. Yes.
Yeah,
makes
it
sense.
would have been. Let's see, and that's a pretty decent starting item at this level. Like since you're starting at this level, then it makes sense to actually start with a couple decent items.
Okay.
Let me look at the belts of giant strength to tell you which one it would have been.
All right. Yeah. Do that.
It's probably Duncan in like a cache somewhere. We'll just figure that out. It probably would actually be a belt of fire giant strength. Like your fire giant friend imbued some of his strength and crafted one for you because the fire giants are master craftsmen, which explains the runes and everything too. So
True.
So why don't we say you have a fire giant belt of strength, which brings your strength up to 25, by the way.
Huh. Okay.
But you don't have that on you yet, so
Right.
But-
It's,
yeah.
I'll add it and then just be like, but not yet.
Yeah. But there would be like a belt of giant strength, as well as like a weapon. Probably like a +1 or +2 weapon. Let's say +1. What sort of weapon were you thinking, then?
So I mean, I have some rogue in me, so I guess I'd be like capable with a dagger most out of anything.
Okay. That
Just makes
would
sense
work.
considering.
You can even dual wield daggers. I mean, you can dual wield most weapons, but yeah.
True.
And then there's even offhand attacks and stuff. But
The
yeah.
dagger's just a distraction. They see me with my dagger, and then I cast a spell at them, and they're just like, "What?"
Yeah. Hold on. So yeah, you do have an arcane focus. What would your focus be?
Okay, so my guess would be something like purple dragon related, right? Like they've tattooed it onto my flesh or something.
Okay.
Or like just pressed it into me with what is it called? A brand. They've just branded me with like an emblem of the purple dragon or something.
Okay.
That's what I would think. If you have a different, possibly better idea, I'm down to hear it.
That could work. Honestly, it could be something like that. It could be like a... Yeah, or it could be like... I'm trying to think. Yeah, it could literally be like a brand on your character. That would be okay. That like glows when you cast spells.
Yeah, okay.
I like that idea. So it would be like a brand of the purple dragon, similar to what actually Adao's character has on his shield. Where would the brand be? It's like right on your buttocks. Your right ass cheek.
on my ass.
And it
What is
glows
this,
through
Futurama?
your clothes, so it's like...
It's gonna be on the back of both of my hands, so that I have no choice but to look at it.
Oh, I like that. So yeah, that sounds cool. 2 brands of the purple dragon. 1 on the back of each hand. Serve as his focus. Okay, yeah, I like it. Sounds good.
Alright, cool.
Cool. That works then. And then let's see. Yeah. Okay. I'm just thinking about. Oh yeah. So then, was there anything you still needed to figure out with your characters, subclasses, classes, multi-classes?
I don't think so. Let me double check the notepad.
Okay.
Okay, so I
I don't
have
know.
Knight with both.
How does multi-classing work with subclasses? It's just if you follow the normal thing and you just the normal levels you just choose and.
Yeah. Subclasses just like unless they give proficiency. Well, no, I imagine subclasses just work like normal. Like if the subclass gives you a proficiency or a new skill, you just get the proficiency or skill.
Yeah, let me just look.
Yeah, yes, please.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, okay. When you get a new level in a class, you get its features for that level. Yeah, there's a couple additional rules. Mainly...
Oh.
Yeah, so mainly there's just stuff like extra attack you can't get like added together extra attacks, if that makes sense.
Yeah, which is dumb and stupid, and I hate it because like if you've spent the 5 levels in a different class to get an extra attack, you should get that extra attack. Whatever.
Yeah,
I guess.
But that would be the only thing really, and then the spell casting technically would be, but since you're only one of your classes has any spells.
Then it's fine, and I don't have to think about it.
I think it should just be normal spell levels.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. It's the same as if it were normal, so you don't need to. You can just use the sorcerer stuff for that.
Wonderful.
But yeah. So, yeah. And yeah, there's limits on channel divinity, but that doesn't matter for you. So, anyways, okay. So, yeah, so I think it's fine then. So I would say just like, I'm probably gonna go try to make some dinner real quick before the actual stream, unless there's anything else you want to go over. Then I would say like if you in the next few minutes before we start, I would try to like copy over the features and stuff. And
yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
I've actually just been kind of slowly pecking away at that while we've been chit chatting.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah. Yeah, if you want to, I like your character's Hinguis Jr. If you want to, if you want to make it sound more cool, you could say like the younger, or but that's just a way to say the same thing.
Well, these are. It's pi-ish, right? Which probably uses. Well, no, Icelandic uses the son and daughter thing. But Hinguis son would be really funny.
I mean, it could be just Hinguis, son of Hinguis, and yeah. How much you want to bet that within the very first like minute of learning your name, then TSM is gonna like make a nickname that's easier to say for your character?
Well, I don't know him very well, but I'll take your word on that. Hingy. I will fight a man who calls me Hingy.
Anyways, oh yeah. Well, either way, I think that's yeah. So okay, yeah, you're not gonna start with any money or anything though.
No.
But you're
I have 1 copper in my prison wallet.
Yeah, and yeah. Okay, so then I think that's honestly fine. Honestly, yeah. I'm just thinking if there's anything else. Yeah, we'll figure out the rest. I think like your gear and stuff that in the group will have to figure out, and you'll figure out, and yeah.
All right.
I think that honestly, unless you have did you have anything else or any other?
No, I think we're good.
Okay. I guess you have an idea in your head of what your character looks like beyond the wings and everything.
Vaguely. He hang on, I wrote it down somewhere. Let me see if I can find it. Description. He's kind of short for an elf,
Okay.
due to his years of being treated like crap. So he's only 5'7".
Okay.
Okay. I wrote this because I was really tired. His gender is eunuch.
It's like he's been castrated.
He's been castrated as like part of the experiment or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Or I mean, honestly, it could even be that just it was a side effect that he was like chemically castrated. Like,
Aw.
you know, like yeah, it literally could just be that. Like, I mean, yeah, it's kind of fucked up. But I imagine that's probably it's kind of like in the Witcher universe where they like anyone who has magic in them becomes infertile.
Really interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I kind of like that. It would also potentially be some of your character holds resentment for, you know, because it's a
True.
choice that was taken away from them, regardless
My
of
balls are gone. They
Yeah.
shriveled up and died.
So, I mean, it was probably after you already hit puberty, so I don't think you would be like. But yeah, we'll say from the experience. What about like hair color and eyes?
Oh yes. So my eyes are yellow. My skin is gray, and I'm bald
Okay.
from all the magic blasting. It's like chemo, you know.
Okay. Yeah. That's fair.
So yeah, I haven't done the thingy, the little 3D model thing that Duncan is ranting and raving about. I'm
That's
sure
fine.
he'll
Yeah.
Scream about it in the chat or whatever
At
about how
some
great
point-
it is, but like,
At some point you could do it, but
yeah.
I wouldn't worry about it too much. Helios hasn't done it either, so
Okay. Yeah, I'll try to make like a physical rendition of it at some point, or well, you know, physical. I'll create him from the earth. No, I'll do something. But yeah, so he is humanoid, mostly gray skin. What color are the scales usually? Are they like brass? Are they copper? Are they gold? Are they bronzish?
it's probably a mix of colors. Or like
Okay.
it probably just depends. It's kind of random. It would be like, you know, any of those, or green, or red, or you know.
So I'll say that there was an upside to the experiment, aside from, you know, all the obvious upsides to the experiment, that it did make my scales gold.
Okay.
So I'll come talk to other dragon elves, and they'll be like, "What do you mean it's all bad? You're golden now. That you're incredible. You're beautiful
Yeah.
or whatever." And I'm like, "I cannot have children, and I cannot cast a spell without possibly becoming a sheep or something."
Yeah.
One time, I just wanted to create dazzling lights, and I casted 5th level magic missile at my best friend.
Yeah. I like it. Yeah, and yeah, the scales only cover parts of the body too, but it's
Yeah.
probably more pronounced for you as a result of the experiment. So
I'm a little extra scaly.
yeah,
Just a
you have
little
the
bit.
whole wing thing going on, and those are scaled.
Yeah,
So
true.
yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I think that works. Yeah, I'm gonna go try to make some dinner real quick for
Okay.
myself. But we'll be starting in like 30 minutes. So
Swag.
yeah, I think I'll probably just leave the stream going until then.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'm just gonna mute and just have the music playing. So well, yeah.
Sounds good.
Hi chat, we'll be back in about 30 minutes or so. And yeah, it should be a good time. So I'm gonna mute us, so bye bye chat.
All right. See you around.